Hey everyone, my name is Julianne Condia and I live in San Jose, California. I hope that you all are having an amazing start to your day. I know that I am. I have just been dancing and just taking in gratitude and just really seeing life for what it really is. And I wanted to go live. And this has been stirring in my heart, you guys. It's been stirring in my heart. And when you choose to stand, people tell you to sit. And I just couldn't sit down. And so it's stirring, it's stirring, it's stirring. And I felt like I had to be a voice. And when I share my voice, it's not to get validated. And it's also not to convince you of anything. Does that make sense? It's just to bring an awareness that we all are entitled to our own opinions. We are all allowed to feel. And since this has been stirring in my heart, and I know that this is going to get a lot of traction, and you might share this, and I think that's good because I just need to share from someone who was at Tony Robbins. If you guys have not seen, there's an article and a video that's going viral right now. And I was there. And since this has been stirring in my heart, and you know what's crazy? It was stirring in my heart before a viral video went out. It was stirring in my heart before an article came out. And it was actually stirring as soon as this moment happened at Unleash the Power Within in San Jose, California. And I just have to say, I went to Tony Robbins not having any expectations. I had no idea what was about to happen. I had been following him. I've listened to him all the time. And my entire life was transformed that weekend. The amount of energy, the amount of intentionality, just how incredibly put together this event was to grow people. It has been amazing. Like it was so amazing, and it was worth every single penny. I will go over and over and over and over again of what happened during that weekend. So a moment happened, and I just need to be a voice right now. And this is the biggest thing as humans, not telling people to shut up and sit down. And for example, for me voicing up. So this woman stood up. He was talking about just not being a volunteer of all of your suffering. And it was really powerful, and I was like right with him. And this woman stood up expecting an apology because he had said, and I got what he was saying, and this is why I need to share this, and this is why you need to share this video. You need to share this video because I just think when it comes to sexual abuse, when it comes to things that are so pulling on the heartstrings, it can be misrepresented. It can be taken in another light. I really do believe that you use certain words and media highlights it and can turn it in a way that is not the actual message. And that is totally how I feel. You don't have to feel that way. Does that make sense? But that is how I feel this has been blown up. And it's been stirring in my heart, and I could believe that went viral, but it was stirring in my heart before. And so since it's stirring in my heart, anything that's stirring in your heart is a sign that you need to speak up, right? If you are talking to someone and it's your spouse and everything in you is telling you not to apologize because it's just so hard, you should apologize. Like that's stirring in your heart, right? So he had been talking about the Me Too movement. He never discredited women getting abused. He was abused. He never was saying that was not significant. And if I start getting emotional about this because I just feel like it was twisted. In that moment, I never felt like he was an advocate for sexual abuse, meaning that he was like, "What? Get over it." He was never like that. That he says and said that is not okay. That someone were to hurt you like that. That is not okay. And that was not his message. His message was, you cannot live and thrive and be your best when you are being a volunteer to all of your pain and all of your suffering. And he is someone who's like, I have suffered. And you can either bury yourself in your suffering, or you can stand on it and become a better person. And all he was saying, in my opinion, is that he was saying that the words that people are using, and it was almost like the Me Too movement, some people, not all, could be using that as a way to play victim. Now that's going to piss people off, and it did. He wasn't saying that that was wrong, what happened to you, but he was saying that you can't continue to live like that. And so this woman, I thought she was so brave, first of all, so incredibly brave, stood up, and I just felt like missed his entire message of demanding an apology, because he was talking about not staying in the suffering. And he said, he's like, I can't apologize for something I'm not sorry for. And that's where it gets twisted. I think people took that as he's not sorry for the abuse. That is not true. That is not what I took from it. He was saying he's not sorry. He spoke his mind in the sense that people stick to certain stigmas, certain words, certain things to stay in suffering and blaming other people, and that's how they live in bitterness. Bitterness and blessing cannot survive together, you guys. They cannot survive together. And I got what he was saying, and that's going to hurt people, because people just want to be validated. They want apologies. They want to feel significant. When issues happen, they want to be heard, right? And that wasn't his message. His message wasn't about, like, he wasn't trying to silence someone who's been abused. He wasn't trying to do that. And it was just super hard to watch, because I just feel like, first of all, the media doesn't care when you see sexual abuse and someone and twisting words and putting it in a way where it's like, no, that's not what his message was. His message was, you cannot band together playing victim and you're not going to live and thrive. It's like the bless and release. Yes, that happened to you. Yes, that was so significant, and the pain is unbearable. But his point was, you don't have to live like that anymore. And so it just stirred in me, because it was so uncomfortable that this lady, and again, she's so brave, just demanding an apology from him. And I feel like did a disservice to herself, because she did not see the greater what he was saying, like with her demanding that apology because of that, where it's like, you missed the point, that you don't have to live in that suffering anymore. It's so significant what happened to you. Ladies, if you have been raped, if you have had sexual abuse happen to you, and if you've been abused verbally, mentally, whatever, if you've been catcalled, if you've been grabbed, that is not okay. But it's also not okay to continue to be bitter and live life blaming, and live life under a rock, and live life suffering. You are missing out on life. And that was his message, that people might use this Me Too movement as a way to stay being a victim. He didn't say all, and he didn't say everyone's doing that, but he said what he has noticed, that it's a chance, an excuse to continue to suffer. And we can either survive and move on and become strong and blame our past for the good, and that's something that really stuck with me, where it's like, if we're going to blame people for all of the bad that's happened in our life, we might as well blame them for all the good. So all of the times, like, I just think about in my life, I could blame that I had divorced parents. I could blame that I have this, but I am the person that I am today because of my past. I am the person I am today because of the pain I've experienced, that I am independent, that I am strong, that I am blunt and just share my heart. I don't take crap from people. I go after it. I'm a go-getter. I am so strong, and that is because of the bad things that have ever happened to me. That is because of how, like, my past. That I'm not just going to be bitter and blame my past for all the bad and feel sorry for myself and all these things. That I look at my past and I think, man, if that wouldn't have happened, I wouldn't be who I am today. And that is what I took from it. And I just, since it was so stirring in my heart, I had to share it, because I do not think abuse is okay. Tony Robbins does not think abuse is okay. I also don't think it's okay to choose to suffer and bury yourself and stop living. I don't think that's okay. And the media will take any kind of thing and knows that it will get attention. And I just thought that it was completely twisted. And that's my opinion. And at the end of the day, someone else's opinion is none of your business. So that's just how I feel. And I was there, and it was uncomfortable. And half the room was like, get over this. Like, let's, like, this is, no. Like, because they got it. They understood it. They were, like, right there. And then other people were so pissed at him. And I was like, you're literally pissed because he's telling you not to be to suffer anymore. You're literally upset because he's telling you not to live in pain anymore, and you just want to continue to live there. Bitterness and blessing, bitterness and gratitude cannot live in the same place. To each his own. And if you want to continue to blame, even watching this, if it's pissing you off, it is what it is, you guys. Like, it is what it is. But I just don't think life was meant to us for us to suffer all the time. I think that we make a choice to suffer. All of the stuff that's ever happened in your past, it is so sad that that happened. But you would not be the person you are today if that wouldn't have happened. And I know that's a hard pill to swallow. And maybe you're frustrated by that because you're continuing to live in a bitter state. You don't have to live there anymore. You're free from that. And I believe in a God that is so good. I believe in Jesus. I believe that he is our forgiver of sins. I do believe that Christ is there for us, and I do believe that our life is purposeful and has meaning. I do believe that there isn't such a thing as an unimportant day, and I do believe that Jesus went to the cross for each and every single one of our sins, including your abusers. And that doesn't mean you have to like them, doesn't mean that you have to be best friends with them, doesn't even mean you have to like whatever to them. That's on them, right? If they didn't change as a person through that horrific thing that has happened to you, and they continue to live hurting people, that is awful. But you are doing your life a disservice by living in this bitterness and anger, and that is just not what we've been created to be. And we have not been created to live like that. And I just need you to hear that today. And I just had to say something. If you need to chat, I'm here. And again, Tony Robbins wasn't saying he was happy that abuse happens and that rape happens, and he wasn't advocating for abusers. All he was saying is he felt like a movement that was surrounded by that was an excuse for a lot of people to continue to blame and live as a victim, or he says volunteer. And the lady just wanted to apologize because she didn't like that. And I felt like she was still choosing to live like a volunteer, to be honest. And so I got what he was saying. I heard his message, and I thought his message was amazing. And I thought it was cool. I also thought it was cool to see his humanity, that you could see that he got a little hijacked and thrown off, but you could see how he taught us how to handle tough situations and when things happen, and he taught us how to we can change it in an instant. So I thought the most powerful part of the entire Unleash the Power Within was you could see that he changed his state in an instant, that you could tell he got emotionally hijacked for a second, and he's human. He's going to, like, we're not going to idolize, like, humanity's humanity. No one is better than anyone, and you are better than no one, right? And what I thought was so cool is that everything he taught us I watched him do. So he changed his state. You could see that he got hijacked. And he changed it 3 times, I feel like. He changed it, and then he danced, then he changed it, and I don't know. That's my opinion, but at the end of the day, you do you, girl. But I'm just saying, life is so precious and beautiful and meant to be fully lived. Bitterness is not a way to live at all. If you could share this video, that'd be great. People need to hear this. All right, you guys, I'll talk to you later.